and welcome everyone to this great online event here at the University of California, Merced. My name is Ricky Hill, and I am your e-recruiter here at UC Merced, and what a great honor it is for me to get the opportunity to kick off another virtual episode here with you. And while you wait here, as we get started to go through a couple of quick tips about Zoom, we do have this QR code available for you on your screen. If you go ahead and you scan that with your smartphone, it's going to pop you over to a website and give you some great information about a very special episode of the College Tour, where UC Merced was featured for the entire 30-minute episode. In case you haven't had a great opportunity yet to take a tour of our campus, this will be a great chance for you to go ahead and not only see our beautiful grounds and listen and learn about everything that we have to offer you, you also will have an opportunity to meet 10 of our current students, our current Bobcats. They will be there to share their personalities with you and share all of their insight about the University of California, Merced, their great experience here with academics, social life, clubs, and organizations, and whatnot. So please go ahead and scan that QR code, and you can take a look at that episode of the College Tour. Now, as we do transition into our presentation, before we get started, I'd like to give you a couple of quick Zoom reminders. If you need to adjust your audio settings, you can do that in the lower left corner of your screen. If at any point you would like to adjust the size of your window or zoom into something that we're showing you, go ahead and click on View Options in the upper portion of your screen. Lastly, and most importantly, we would love to get to your questions live. At the end of our presentation, we do have a special time slot saved for live question and answer session. So please use that Q&A button, send in your questions. We also have some fast fingers behind the scenes who will be getting to some of those throughout this event, but we will also be getting to those live at the end. Tonight, as you do see on your screen, we are going to be talking about housing, transportation, and parking services, as well as all of our dining services. At this time, I'd like to go ahead and hand things over to my colleague, Scott, to kick off this event.
Thanks, Ricky, and welcome everyone. We're grateful to have the opportunity to talk to you about all that our campus has to offer at UC Merced, and this is my first introduction to the class of 24-25. Next slide, please. So one of the great things about UC Merced is that we're so new. Everything has been built recently, and all that includes all our residence halls. Everything is state-of-the-art, everything is modern, and it's not only the facilities themselves, but they're built in a way that makes sense. Our housing is in one portion of the campus, dining is near that, so your movement around campus, the student experience at UC Merced living on campus has been designed from the ground up to be a supportive and academic experience. So when we talk about life on campus, we're really talking about the programmatic element, and that's our residence education team. Right when you get here, some of the first people you're going to meet are the resident advisors, and these are our returning students who have been selected. They're actually going through selection right now from among the best that we have to offer on campus, who will be helping welcome you to campus and helping you make the transition from your community to the UC Merced community. Those RAs work with our residence education coordinators, who are full-time professional staff who live on campus and work with the RAs and work and help students as well. The resident services desk, we're a city of 4,300 people, so we provide a lot of different services. You can get mail, packages, toilet paper, trash bags, and a host of other support services at the resident services desk. And when you're not really sure what to do or where to go, which happens a lot in your first year, the RAs and RECs as a resource are very helpful, and they're also present with you in your community. And all the things that you might be nervous about, some of the questions you might have about life on campus, your RAs and your RECs are going to be able to help you answer those questions and help you make the best transition to the University of the UC Merced community. Next slide, please. Within that community, one of the programs that we want to highlight for you as incoming students are living and learning communities. These are designed communities with an academic or interest focus that bring residents together in the residential community, but also couple that with an academic or service experience focus. So these living learning communities, or LLCs, as you'll hear referred to throughout the presentation, the LLCs bring students together in the residence halls, but then there'll also be a class component or service component with them. And this helps build relationships and can ease the transition socially and gives you a support group and network to work with. And one of the things that correlates very strongly with academic success is a resilient and engaged academic peer group. And the LLC helps you build this right out of the box when you arrive at UC Merced in housing. Next, please. So our LLC students in the past have talked about not only is it about sharing a like-minded interest. So for example, moving into maybe an undergraduate science major into medical school, or working with service and leadership to promote stronger communities. There are lots of different interests or common goals, but all these programs have with them a strong support of faculty, of staff, of graduate students, that help mentor and can provide, again, another way to build connections at the university. Building that network, not only socially, but academically, really enhances success. And the LLCs are a space where these folks who have academic expertise in the majors or interest areas that you want to be a part of can then find you through the LLC. Next slide, please. There are some common elements. When you participate in an LLC, there is a common course that students will register. And so if you express, and you'll express interest in LLCs when you're signing your housing application. So that's the first place you'll be able to identify up to 2 LLCs that you're interested in. If you're selected for an LLC, and it is selected, if you say you're interested and you are selected for the LLC, you'll have a common course that you'll sign up for, an academic course. And then there'll also be study sessions and groups that will provide out of class support for material, not just in the associated class, but also that can help you with other classes as well. There'll be social opportunities, not just with your peers, but with faculty and staff, which is really critical when you're trying to build the kinds of relationships that are going to help you network to a new research experience or a new job when you move to your sophomore, junior, or senior year. Next slide, please. These are some of our leadership, our living learning communities. We have quite a few. I think we're getting close to 16 LLCs all this year. There's opportunities here for a wide range of interests. These can also be found on the housing website. There's a top menu item called Living Learning Communities, where you can also find these as well. Next slide, please. We have plenty more LLCs. So these are some of our newest LLCs focused on clean energy and exploring studying a broader global issues. Next slide, please. So no matter what your interest might be, we went through those slides quite a bit. You can go through, and I encourage you to visit the housing website, and look through the descriptions of the LLCs. Even if you're not sure you want to participate, you might find something in there that's interesting or that catches your eye about a topic you might want to pursue more, either academically or personally. And the LLC can be a great way to get introduced to that when you arrive. And there are no additional costs or anything for participating in an LLC. Those are all provided as all costs and experience are covered as part of the participation. Next, please. All right, on to housing services. So we've been talking about our community and the kind of community you'll build as Bobcats coming to campus. Our physical community is new and designed to be an academically supportive environment. And we talked about LLCs as an example of the kind of intentional community that you can participate in as a Bobcat in your first year at UC Merced. But now we're going to talk about the nuts and bolts of housing and how you sign up for housing at UC Merced. Next, please. So when we talk about campus housing, one of the first questions that we get is like, what do we have to bring, and what do we have to bring with us? So there's a wide range of housing, and depending where you've lived, where you're coming from, you might have a different housing experience. Things that you should not bring with you to campus housing, right? Campus housing is a high density environment. So that means that you have to be very mindful of the kinds of things you bring into your room. You're going to be sharing space with other folks. which is a great experience to build and make new friends and build relationships. But it does require us to set some guidelines about what you should bring. These are items that you shouldn't bring with you. Pets is a big one. You can have a fish, but don't bring any other pets with you. And don't bring anything that burns or glows. So we're talking anything that has an exposed heating element like a toaster, no kitchen appliances, no candles, no incense, no canning lamps or anything like that. Don't bring any of those things with you. We do have community kitchens that you can use, and every student will have a meal plan, in part because it's very difficult to balance the cooking needs of 4,000 students if they're all trying to cook in their room. Obviously, don't bring weapons or anything flammable with you because we want to keep everyone safe. And next slide, please. What should you bring? So when you're moving to campus housing, we provide all the furniture. So we provide a twin extra long bed. And that bed may be on the ground floor, or it may be a lofted or bunked bed, in which place we'll provide a ladder and a rail for the top bunks. But you'll want to bring your own bedding. So we don't provide blankets or comforters. You'll need to bring bedding that is in the twin extra long size. These are very common. You can find them at Walmart, Target. You can find them online easily at Amazon. They're very easy to find. You're going to need to bring your own bathroom supplies and toiletry. If you haven't given hygiene a thought very much, you might want to consider that. If you're used to borrowing supplies from your parents, you might want to start making a list of which supplies you borrow the most so that you can get those before you leave. You will probably want to have a surge protector. These can have to be UL rated power strips, or how they're commonly known. And then you'll want to make sure you bring some supplies to move your laundry around. So we provide laundry at no cost to all campus residents. You don't have to carry socks, a sock full of quarters around anymore. You can just take your laundry down and do the laundry and dry it all for free. But you're going to need a way to get it to and from. We do recommend also bringing some additional items that are here. And if you engage more with us at Bobcat Day or through at our website, you'll find a list of what to bring. One thing about we do allow students to bring a microwave and a refrigerator. The size limits though are specific and are listed here: 4.2 cubic feet. This is a pretty small refrigerator, and a 900-watt microwave, which is also a pretty small microwave. So you're going to want to take a look through there. And then there's some other things that can be helpful that are listed here as well. But again, we'll provide a more comprehensive list of these to you. But just know we provide the furniture and you provide the things that you'll need to live in the room. So next slide, please. So our application process and timeline: all our first year students are guaranteed housing. With the housing guarantee comes the responsibility. We need you to tell us you want housing. We do not assume that a first year student, or any student really, there's no live on requirement here at UC Merced. So you have to initiate your request for housing by submitting an application for housing. And that part's very short and easy to do through the housing portal. You have to SIR first. So there's a good plug for getting your SIR in. You have to have that done. And then usually within 1 or 2 business days after, we'll be able to access the housing portal. You'll submit your housing application. We will make an offer of housing to you. It's guaranteed as long as you submit your application by 11:59 p.m. on May 19th. So that's the priority date to turn in the housing application. And then you have to sign that offer electronically back in the portal by May 20th. That's for incoming first year students. There's a different timeline for transfer students of June 6th and June 7th, respectively, to submit and sign. That is probably the most important date to mark on your calendar if you're looking at multiple schools, or if you're trying to figure out what your housing needs are. Again, as a first year or new transfer student, you're guaranteed to submit and sign by those dates. We're holding the beds for you, so just make sure that you take advantage of that. Your steps for housing will be to get on the portal, and once you SIR, and then you can submit your application and sign by the deadline date. LLC decisions will be ready by early June, so by around June 1st, June 3rd, in that time frame, you'll know if you've gotten into a living learning community. And then we will move into our roommate selection and online room selection for first year new transfer, which is right now scheduled to take place June 17th through the 28th. And then we move into our actual move-in time, which will be August 22nd to the 25th. And there'll be a lot more information. And once you've gotten through steps 1 through 4, you'll start getting a lot more information about move-in and how to get to UC Merced and get moved into housing. Next. So if you know that you need accommodations, ADA accommodations for housing, the priority date for those is June 1st. So you're going to read through that process that we have on our website. You can also find it through Student Accessibility Services. If you happen to be working with them already and believe that you would accommodation, say for mobility, or maybe you need a lower density room, only one roommate, or a single room, you're going to need to request that through the accommodations process. You don't send that documentation to housing, you'll work with Student Accessibility Services, and they will let us know how to help you with housing accommodations. But we generally can meet all accommodations as long as they are submitted, fully documented to Student Accessibility Services by June 1st. If you do have questions about what your aid package is going to look like or how you'll pay for housing, Students First Center is a great place for that. And you can see some of the information here about financial aid and how to estimate cost of it. One thing I would point out is that if your status does change, your aid adjusts to reflect that change. So if you sign a housing contract and you're confirmed for housing, your aid will reflect that in your cost of attendance. But if you cancel housing, your aid may also change. It's totally up to you whether you want housing. Just know that you may want to consult with Students First Center before you make those decisions. Next slide, please. And the last item we're going to talk to relative to housing on campus is your CAT card. This is the way in which you access campus services. You'll use it to get into the residence halls. You'll use it to ride the CAT tracks. Use it to swipe in to use your CAT dollars and to swipe in to use your meal plan. It's quite a useful card, and you're going to want to submit after you SIR and get set up, claim your UC Merced ID and everything. You're going to submit your CAT card photo online. So they'll give you instructions at the website listed there how you can submit your own selfie to put on your university ID card, which you will pick up at orientation. Next slide, please. All right, I'm going to pass this to James.
Good evening. It's good to be here. And really, my name is James Nardello. I'm the Assistant Director for Transportation and Parking Services. Really proud to be here to be part of this Become a Bobcat presentation. And so we're just going to jump right into it. Let's go to the next slide. To start off, would like to talk with you about the resident students, those who will be living on campus overnight parking. The semester rate for that is $200. And the application that you will need to be submitting for that is available beginning April 1st. We have that application process in place so we can assess our parking numbers and make sure that everything's in alignment. You also can visit our TAPS website continuously, and we encourage that for you to see very important dates regarding not just your resident parking, but a lot of other things that we participate in. So next slide. Commuter students, those who will be traveling from around the surrounding areas of Merced, for continuing and new transfer commuter students, the semester rate is $160, and permit applications are, as you can see, there's a website for you to be able to log in and put in your vehicle information. And we also have a new commuter carpool. The semester rate's $160. It's also available for purchase at our TAPS office. With carpools, we do need to have all carpool participants present in our office in order to be able to do that. Daily parking is available through our mobile application, and we also accept text payment. The freshman commuters, those who will be coming in from the surrounding areas of Merced, you can apply by exception. For that, those exceptions that we offer permits are for those who are active military participants. If you have a health or medical condition that would require you to have that car on campus, or if you have an off-campus job and need to commute from outside of Merced, the applications, again, are on our website. Next slide. Catract. We're proud to provide such a nine routes to our Catract service to get you all through the residence areas of Merced, dining, health, medical. You show your CAT card, as Scott was mentioning in his presentation. In order to board, you would present your CAT card. That's going to be used for a lot of other things as well. Face masks may be required. That's all obviously pending health guidelines, but follow those guidelines. The Catract system connects, like I mentioned, to medical for prescriptions, grocery retail, dining, banks, Amtrak, and downtown. Amtrak, obviously north and south. So we have a Amtrak station that we provide service to that Amtrak station as well. We are also proud to partner with the city for the Merced County bus system, which will also get you connected to alternative areas surrounding Merced as well. So we're very happy to provide this service to you, our Bobcats. So next slide. Transportation, we obviously, there's the county bus for you, Merced, the bus. We have a route UC. We also partner with the Merced Airport that flies to Vegas and Los Angeles. And as mentioned, Amtrak. There are student discounts available. We will be tabling for orientations. We will be at Bobcat Day. And we also have Amtrak that would be tabling next to us. So if there will be questions specific to Amtrak, will it go to my neighborhood? Will it stop where I am? Those questions can also be answered at those tabling events. We're looking forward to meeting you, and we're looking forward to providing further information. Next slide. Zipcar. We are so proud to provide Zipcar on our campus. We currently have 5 vehicles on our campus located in several locations, and it's a self-service on-demand car sharing. You become a member, and the rates, as you'll see, it's a $15 annual fee. So it's very reasonable. You can get daily or hourly rates for various vehicles. We have some SUVs, a couple of hatchbacks, and some sedans as well. You need to be 18 years old. You have to have a license. But the one thing that's great about Zipcar is that it pays for the insurance, it pays for the gas and maintenance, something you do not have to worry about when you're coming to campus. If you don't have a vehicle, we have a multitude of options for you. You log into your account, you book a reservation, and you take the car. The car has you are mailed a membership card, which will unlock the car during your reservation, and the key will be in the car for you. So it will start up if you have that valid reservation. So again, we're really looking forward to providing Zipcar to you, our Bobcats. And we also partner with Lyft and Uber. There are various places on campus that they will bring you if you need to use Uber and Lyft. Next slide. This is our contact information. It's really important that you visit our website early and often. We have a lot of different things that we update on the daily. As far as Catract, we update our Catract schedules, and we provide a multitude of other information that will be helpful for you as you're looking to come to UC Merced. We have obviously our email there. If you have any questions, we're looking forward to your emails so that we can provide answers to your great questions. We also have a phone number. So our front office staff is looking forward to talking with you to provide you any answers to the questions you might have. One other thing that is not on the slide is we are also really proud to provide opportunities for our students for employment. Our student ambassadors are the first experience for a lot of folks that come to campus, and we're really happy to provide various positions on campus where you will be working with TAPS. So we look forward to having that. We have several positions that are actually open for student employees as well. So we're looking forward to hearing your questions, and we're looking forward to meeting you. Thank you so much. Next up, we have dining and retail services, and I believe we have Chad that's coming up. Thank you so much.
That's me. Hi, everyone. My name is Chad Pate. I'm the Executive Director of Campus Life here at UC Merced. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am thrilled to be able to share with you some of the amazing things that are happening on our on-campus eateries. So without further ado, if we can go to the next slide, and the next slide. Here are just a few photos of the experiences that students get to have every day when they dine with us on campus. We have a variety of different ways that students dine with us, whether they live on campus or off, whether they are here for a club meeting or between classes. There are a lot of different things that we offer on campus to provide students with healthy, nutritious, delicious meals in a variety of formats. So these are some photos from our Pavilion Dining Center. I'll talk about some other options on campus as well. Next slide, please. All right, so as I mentioned, we have residential dining facilities, and we call them residential dining because they are where our students will use their meal plan when they sign up for a meal plan in their housing application. Something to keep in mind is even though we call them residential dining, they are available to commuter students as well. So if you won't be joining us as a resident on campus, you can still come to the Pavilion or the Yablokoff Wallace Dining Center when they're open. You can use CAT dollars, you can pay with a credit or debit card for entry. It's very affordable. Both of those dining centers are all you care to eat. So when you walk in, if you're a resident on a meal plan, you'll swipe your meal card, which is your CAT card, and you will be able to have unlimited access to everything that they have to offer for food. They have multiple different meals offered every single day. For our current operations, the Pavilion is open 7 days per week. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and the Yablokoff Wallace Dining Center is open Monday through Friday. Lunch, dinner, and our late night service, which currently runs from 9 p.m. to midnight. So students who are craving a late night snack or who are studying for exams can grab something healthy to eat and be in community with their fellow residents. If you aren't on a meal plan and you're a commuter student, again, you can pay at the entry. We are cashless in our dining center, so cash won't be useful in this, but you can add cash to your CAT dollars, which is like a flex spending account in your CAT card, and that will help you get into the dining centers. The Pavilion is our new dining center. It's very large. It's one of the biggest central buildings that you'll see when you walk up Academic Walk. If you come to Bobcat Day, which we hope to see you there, you can't miss it. It's right there past all the tables. Up on the north end of campus, which is the original site of campus, we have our Yablokoff Wallace Dining Center, we lovingly call the YWDC. And that is a delicious option as well. So students love these dining centers. Again, if you're on a meal plan, this is where you'll eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, and late night. If you're commuting to and from classes, it's a great place to grab lunch or breakfast between classes. Our other side of the portfolio are grab-and-go options, which are retail. That includes our Lantern Cafe, which is specialty espresso beverages and teas. That's located in the Collier Library. We also have our Bobcat Snack Stop, which is a convenience store location where you can grab chips or a delicious bottle of water. The Summits Marketplace, that's been closed for a couple of years. That will reopen here very soon. That's located in Cathedral Hall, which is in North Campus. That's also a convenience store location. And then our food trucks, which are located along the road in front of the Yablokoff Wallace Dining Center. Usually they're between lunch and early dinner. That's a cycling through of different community vendors who come onto campus and are able to provide you with a delicious meal. And you can use your CAT dollars, credit, debit, or cash at those locations. All right, next slide, please. This is the slide about our Pavilion Dining Center. So as I mentioned, it's really big, it's really beautiful. This is where a lot of students are doing their day-to-day meal experiences on campus. While you can't click on the link here, if you go to the dining services website at UC Merced, you'll be able to find a link to their daily menus, which you can drill down by different stations within the dining center and drill down by your own particular dietary needs. So I, as a vegetarian, can always identify what options are available to me at the pavilion. They currently have 4 platforms, so 4 different stations with different meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as well as different bars where you can go and serve yourself salad or yogurt, sandwiches, really fun stuff like that, and a full bakery, so you can grab a delicious muffin or cookie or treat that's baked in-house. It's a really great place to come with roommates or floor mates. RAs will often do events there. It's a wonderful location. Next slide, please. And then our other dining center, this is a really fun, energetic atmosphere. They often have music, they have a stage and pool table. A lot of fun things are happening over there. That's a location where, similar to the pavilion, you can go on and see what options are available in their menu every single day through their menu site. They have 5 different platforms, so 5 different rotating menus every day. And then, you know, like I mentioned, this is a great place where a lot of events are held. So you might hear about really fun things happening tomorrow. For example, celebrity chef Ed Porter is coming and doing a takeover of the YWDC, and he's cooking the food. And I'm really excited to try a celebrity chef's food at the YWDC. So that's a great place to go as well. Next slide, please. So like my colleagues, James and Scott, Dining Services really wants to hear from you about what questions you have, what you're interested in, any particular requests you might have. The chefs are always open to coming up with new menus and new offerings, as well as our retail centers always love to hear feedback from students about what they would like to be able to purchase in grab-and-go formats. So please feel free to reach out to us. You can visit our website, dining.ucmerced.edu, or take a snap of that QR code. Email our chef team at diningschef@ucmerced.edu, where you can, again, suggest new offerings. If you are working with student accessibility services because you have specific dietary restrictions that could impact your health, you definitely want to reach out to the chef team. They'll have usually a one-on-one conversation with you unless you get an accommodation through Disability Access Services, in which case that will happen automatically on the back end. And then you know, if you have faith-based restrictions or dietary needs, they're always open to hearing those things so that they can make sure that you have the best dining experience possible. The executive chef of the pavilion is Chef Matt Perez. This is his email, and the executive chef of the YWDC is Chef Anthony Pangelina, and this is his email as well. Next slide. All right, so that's all for dining services. Thank you so much for hearing us out, and I look forward to answering your questions.
Thank you so much to Chad, James, and Scott for that fantastic and information jam-packed presentation that we had tonight. We would love to now dive into some of your questions, and my colleague Jose has hopped on screen. I'll let him do a brief introduction, and then we'll dive into some questions. Hi, Jose.
Hello, thank you, Ricky, and to my colleagues today for presenting on information about TAPS, dining, and housing. My name is Jose Navarro. I'm the admissions public advisor for University of California, Merced. And let me congratulate you on your admission to UC Merced. Your strong work ethic speaks for itself, and you are here today with us. So it is an honor to have you here today. So right now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to actually be doing a panel so we can ask some of your questions from the chat to our colleagues here today with us on this call. Now, our first question is for Scott, my colleague with housing. Is there housing available for second or third year students at UC Merced?
Yes, in fact, we guarantee housing for second-year students under the same conditions that you apply and guarantee housing your first year. You have to apply for and sign your housing contract within the priority dates, and those are typically in early February, usually the 2nd to 3rd week in February you have to submit. But as long as you, when you're going from your first year to your second year, as long as you apply on time and sign on time, you will be guaranteed a second year of housing. After the second year, there is no more guarantee. Third year and fourth year continuing students, it's based on space available.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott. Ricky, if you would like to ask the next question.
Sure thing. Thanks, Jose. All right, so the next question coming up, how do students qualify to become resident advisors? Are there certain qualifications?
Yeah, typically you have to have lived on campus at UC Merced previously, so that's one important qualification. They also have to maintain a higher GPA than other student employees, so there's a GPA requirement as well. And that's not only for hiring, but also for while they're an RA, because we want students who not only know their way around campus and are friendly, but also can model academic success as well. Those are just some of the qualifications. We also look for a lot of soft skills like emotional intelligence, ability to talk to students, and it can come in a lot of different forms. It doesn't have to be somebody who's really outgoing all the time, but just someone who's one of the key things I always look for was curiosity. I mean, we want students who are going to ask questions about you and get to know you. And a lot of our interview questions and our screening for RAs are about their interest in students, how they would want to help students, ideas they have about engaging with students. While RAs can take a lot of different forms with that engagement, we just want to make sure that their number one interest is in meeting and engaging with you.
Great. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott. The next question that I have is for my colleague James with Transportation and Parking Services. What are the hours for the campus bus service? What are those like?
Great, thank you. Thanks for the question. We appreciate that for sure. Our standard scheduling for our CAT track systems, we have, like I mentioned, 9 routes starting at 6 a.m. They go up to 11 p.m. There is minutes after that. Obviously, that's just all based on where the stops are. But it's a well-rounded service taking you to a lot of places and a lot of places you need to go. Again, 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, we have 2 routes, the E1 and the E2 as well. So all of our schedules are updated. They are on our website at taps.ucmerced.edu. You'll click on the transportation link. And another thing I should probably add is if there are ever any changes, delays to our routes, those are posted on formerly known as Twitter, but X. So for any up-to-date changes to our routes, delays, hey, we have trains in town, so it happens. Just want to make sure you're aware that those real-time updates do get dropped into X, so you can favorite that, and anytime you're going to have a particular route that you have a concern for, check our website out. There's a feed there for you to check the routes just as well. So thank you for the question.
And I have one follow-up question for you, James, from one of our first-year students.
Sure.
First-year student has asked, as a freshman living on campus, am I allowed to park my car on campus?
Yes. So we have an application process, as I've mentioned. That doesn't mean that we're having any shortage. It means that we need to assess as we're receiving those applications, and we approve them as fast as we get them. But it's a checks and balances. So yes, we are accepting applications for freshmen. We need you to do that beginning April 1st, and that will open up April 1st for you to do so. We look forward to the applications. Thank you.
We have a question coming in for dining, and it's about vegan options. I know we mentioned those partially through the presentation. Chad, would you be able to speak to that a bit?
Yes, absolutely. One of the great things about our dining centers is they really work to cater to as many different dietary needs as possible. Because we are an all-you-care-to-eat platform in both the Pavilion Dining Center and the Yablokoff Wallace Dining Center, students can serve themselves the meals that they would like. Typically, most platforms will have a meat or protein option and a non-meat or protein option, which is very often vegan. And so students who are vegan can be accommodated with very diverse menus and options within the dining centers. And if students are finding that they're not getting enough options, or they have ideas for other ways that they can be satisfied for their dietary restrictions, they can give that feedback to the chefs. They're very open to that collaborative conversation.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And now I'd like to hop back over to housing really quickly and talk a little bit about roommate selection. How do you all go about doing that? Is there a questionnaire?
Yeah, so when you complete your housing application, you'll fill out a series of questions that we would call your roommate profile, where you'll be able to say a little bit about yourself, have like a general statement about anything you want to say about you, and then you'll answer a series of questions like, when do you like to get up? Do you consider yourself more on the clean side or on the neat side? There's a range of these questions, and then these are used with the roommate matching tool in the housing portal that will open up, and you'll be able to look for other roommates based on their responses to these questions. So if the most important thing to you is you want to look for a roommate that also gets up early, then you like to get up early and you're worried you're not going to find anybody at college who wants to get up early, you can search by that and look for roommates who would be a match for you on that criteria.
Very good. Thank you so much. And I think this is a great opportunity for me to give a little bit of a promo to a brand new YouTube series that we recently launched in the admissions office. It is called Bobcat Life, and it is exactly what it sounds like. We are giving you the inside glimpse into campus life and anything related to UC Merced and the city of Merced, and just the general outlook of being a student and being a Bobcat, being a part of our Bobcat family. So we're going to drop that link over into the chat box for you guys to go ahead and click on and bookmark to take a look later on. The reason I wanted to mention it right now, and speaking about housing, the episode that just dropped a few hours ago today is about the housing. So it specifically focuses on Granite Pass, and it would be a great opportunity for you guys to take a peek and get some insight there. All right, Jose, I'll toss it back over to you.
Thank you, Ricky. My next question is for my colleague in dining and retail services, Chad. One of our student scholars has asked, how much are the meals at the pavilion?
Absolutely. They range from about $11 to $14, depending on the meal. So breakfast is the least expensive meal and dinner is the most expensive meal. And those prices could change next year. That's the cash price for students who are paying out of pocket. But students on a meal plan, those meals are part of their meal plan. For next year, we're expecting the meal plan to be about $2,625 per semester, plus a Bobcat cat dollar minimum of $85 to $600, depending on what students choose. So that with that $2,600 is unlimited. Students can go into the dining centers anytime they're open, as many times as they would like over the course of a semester.
Thank you, Chad. My next question is for my colleague James with TAPS. Is there overnight parking available for first-year students?
Yes, it is, and I'm feverishly responding to some of the questions and answers. So really appreciate the questions, and I'll continue to do that along the way. Yes, if you are approved for a resident permit, a H-zone permit, there's 2 locations on campus where you can park your vehicle overnight. And as long as those regulations are fulfilled, we follow those regulations with parking in the right locations, then everything's good to go. And I also had a question that was relating to whether it's beneficial to have a car on campus. And, I think we all like to think sustainability. We also know we're fairly remote, our campus. So we pride ourselves on providing the best possible opportunities for you to be sustainable, whether that's a bike or riding the bus. We really push for that. So if you need to have a car, then you have a permit for that, and you have a location to park the vehicle, and that's what we would provide you those regulations once you're approved. So thank you for the question.
Thank you, James. And I want to take this opportunity to actually inform our scholars about the Experience UC Merced program being offered at our campus in collaboration with the faculty. So Experience UC Merced is a month-long program that goes from April 1st to the 26th, in which you can choose various course offerings and sit in a classroom lecture so you can see what it's like to be a Bobcat here on our campus. If someone could do me the favor of dropping the link in the chat, and once you click on that link, you'll be taken to the Experience UC Merced page, and you'll be able to look at our over 35 course offerings that we have with the faculty. Aside from attending a campus lecture, you also get to do a campus tour of our campus, and we will also give you a few meal vouchers, 2 per family, so you can go to the pavilion and eat at the pavilion and see what our scholars eat on the daily.
We also have some questions coming in related to transportation that's outside of campus. One is asking about Amtrak, and I know also we spoke a bit earlier about the airport that we have in Merced. James, do you want to touch on those a bit?
Absolutely. We partner, we're transit partners with the county. So that system, we have a route UC that is specific to going into the community and returning to our university transit center. That system also will transfer you to other communities surrounding Merced. We have a great relationship with our county system. And so obviously, if there's any questions regarding that, our website is a phenomenal resource for you. We provide all of the routes for the county, including the route UC along with our other fixed route service, nine routes as well.
Very good. And then a quick follow-up. Someone is letting us know that during the longer holiday breaks, they may not be in town, but they might want to just be flying home and leaving their car. So is there something special that they have to do for longer term parking on campus?
If you are a resident and you've been approved for a permit, you have a space. You are going to have a parking space on campus. Whether that's in the Bellevue lot or in the Scholars lot, we will have an opportunity for you. If you are approved for a permit, no problem. As far as flying, Merced has, like I mentioned, 2 locations, Las Vegas and Los Angeles, that is, I believe, I want to say North Sacramento, but information regarding advanced air is on our website. So please feel free to visit our website and check out the advanced air options. But Fresno Airport's an hour away as well.
Fantastic. Thanks, James. And now we also have a couple of housing questions coming in with the theme related around student athletes. So can we speak to that a little bit? Are they mixed, or is it, you can get paired with an athlete even if you're not an athlete, or is it based on sport? How does that work?
Yeah, excellent question. I've been answering these in the chat. So athletics does reserve a certain amount of spaces. It's around 70 to 80 bed spaces that we hold for athletics. And so those students who are coming in as athletes can work with their coaches to determine if they're going to live in those spaces. And the coach, and you will have to apply for housing on your own. I want to make that clear. Because you're going to sign a contract and your coach can't sign that contract on your behalf. So it's important, parents and students, that even if athletics is, and their job is to smooth your enrollment process to a certain extent, and housing will help you with that by holding the space, but you also have to sign and submit the housing contract if you want housing, because it's not required. So the housing athletics, if you do live on campus with athletics, and you work with your coach and they will assign you into usually it's Tulare or one of those buildings, and they will, in the Valley Terraces, and they will assign you typically in with members of your team. So your practice schedules align, your training schedules align, your travel schedules align. So that's something that they will do for you. But it's not required. We have athletes that, athletics. I was an athlete in college, and I started as an athlete, but I didn't end my college year as an athlete. So I left athletics at some point, and I was able to move and live around campus. We have athletes in many buildings around campus because they join or depart teams throughout the year. So there is some housing that's held. You'll want to talk to your coach about specific room assignments and if you need to live in that housing or want to live in that housing, but you will still have to apply for housing and sign a contract on your own.
Thank you, Scott. I have a follow-up question for you. If I need disability accommodations, will I still be able to join a living learning community?
Yes, it depends on the nature of the accommodation and the location of the LLC, but our South Campus buildings are our newest buildings, and they have a wide range of ADA accessible spaces, and and including single rooms, which could be available to you depending on your accommodation. But the earlier you submit that accommodation, the better we'll be able to sort out what rooms and what spaces could be available.
Thank you, Scott. My next question is for my colleague Chad. How late do dining halls open until? How late are they open?
On weekdays, Monday through Friday, the YWDC is currently open until midnight, and so students can have a meal between after dinner and before bed. But it does vary by location, and so we do stagger the hours during the week to make sure that we're open in one of the two dining centers throughout the full day between breakfast and the end of late night, so that students have some option on campus regardless of what time they have classes or meetings or other time requirements.
Thank you, Chad. And now we're going to go ahead and give the floor to our colleagues to give a closing statement.
So any last words from any of our panelists tonight, if you'd like to hop back on screen, and any last words tonight before we do our final wrap up?
Just with housing, there's a lot of great questions here. I always recommend that you start looking at these questions early, and then you start applying early and get those things turned in, because it will, things will get busy as you get closer to graduation. And you may, I've definitely had students who have arrived at orientation with their parents, and they did not apply for housing and then did not get housing. That is not a place to be. So just make sure you mark those dates and that you get your applications turned in on time. We can help you with a lot of things as long as you get things.
I would like to add that if you have any questions whatsoever, to please visit our website. We put a lot of energy and time with that, and we're proud to provide all the information we have on there. We keep it up to date as much as possible. Our email account is taps@ucmerced.edu. We have front office staff ready to answer questions. We're here for you. We look forward to having you, and yeah, we're looking forward to being partners with you. So thank you.
And my final comment is just, if you're going to Bobcat Day, try out some of the food for yourself. I think you'll be really pleasantly surprised at what we're able to offer you.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much. Thank you so much to Jose, my great moderating colleague tonight. Chad, of course, representing dining. We had housing with Scott, and James representing transportation and parking. What a fabulous night this has been. I do have a couple of quick things that I want to run through with everybody. The first thing, Chad actually just gave me a great segue into Bobcat Day. So if you haven't yet visited that website, we will be dropping all of these over into the chat box. So grab your smartphone if you want to take a picture as we are posting those, or just rapidly start clicking on those for future reference. So Bobcat Day, that is on Saturday, April the 20th. It is the biggest event that we offer here at the University of California, Merced, biggest event in the spring. It is a fantastic time for you to come to not only get a campus tour, you'll get to meet faculty, go all around campus. We have a huge tabling event. I believe we're up to 200 tabling events now. It's definitely our biggest event. We do not want you to miss that. It could be that day that you decide to become a Bobcat and become a part of our Bobcat family and submit your statement of intent to register. Speaking of that, that deadline is on May 15th. So you want to make sure that you mark your calendar, but there's no need to wait until May 15th. You can just join us at Bobcat Day and go ahead and do that there, and we will help you celebrate with your family. A couple of other important events I'd like to note, and again, we'll drop these links over in the chat for you. We have several regional receptions that we will be offering you in April. We like to call that the Admissions Roadshow. So we will be going to 4 different locations. One will be in Southern California in Los Angeles. We have one coming up in the North Valley in Modesto, South Valley in Visalia, as well as in the Bay Area in Santa Clara. So we take everything that you see here with us on these great events, and even kind of a Bobcat Day, a mini version. We go on the road and we come to you. So make sure that you hop over to that website, get yourself signed up so that you get all those tips and tricks on how to prepare for those great events. Now, earlier you did hear a little bit about the Experience UC Merced program from my colleague Jose. We also have another program that is similar to that, and that one is called Discover Your Bobcat Journey. On that event, not only do you get to have the experience and insight of actually visiting and sitting through a classroom lecture, you also get to have lunch on campus. But the special treat on the Bobcat journey is to actually have a UC Merced student ambassador take your hand and guide you through that day and through the campus. You'll also get a campus tour. It's quite the event. So again, another website coming at you in the chat box. So go ahead and hop on over, get yourself registered there as well. Couple more things, we're almost done. So we also have the Bobcat Den coming at you, and that is a social media platform that is specially designed for newly admitted students. So once again, another link coming to you. You should also be getting an email about that if you haven't already. So keep an eye out for that. We have so many great resources trying to squeeze everything in. Of course, tonight's event has been recorded, and we have many more virtual events coming up. So you will find the instant replays and other RSVP registration links over on the events page throughout the admitted website. We once again have dropped that handy dandy website over into the chat box as well. Gosh, that was a mouthful. I think we got everything out to you tonight. A big thank you from me to you and to all of our great panelists who were on tonight. Jose, of course, helping me moderate. We had James, Scott, and Chad with us tonight as well. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you again very soon, either in person, on a campus tour, or another virtual event. Once again, my name's Ricky Hill, your e-recruiter. I hope to see you again soon. Have a great night, everyone.